All right, Shalom, Kohulayim, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak, Badash. Want to give double honors to our elders apostles, a great millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well. Want to give peace and salutations to the Akim, put it on as the elect, striving for perfection and that crown of righteousness by being obedient to what's written inside these scriptures. This is your brother Kassad out of Great Millstone, Houston, coming to you with a quick and prompt lesson going into binding the strong man. And this world in which we live in, they make it their business to keep masculinity or any type of man energy out of the household, right? They don't want a family being raised by a masculine man. They rather that that masculinity energy come from a woman, right? And that woman who's going to be putting her trust inside of this system society, which is Rome 2.0. But as in the garden, it was Eve who was beguiled by that serpent, and she is still being beguiled to this day, right? Taking up his philosophies and his ideologies and all his ways of wickedness, right? She is she is of her father, man, the Esau Edomite, who is the self-proclaimed white man out here ruling this world in perversiveness and wickedness. All right, so I'm gonna get through precepts and perfectly just be edifying to the body. Play this clip. This is fair use. You know,
At 6, video shows Jacksonville police entering a woman's home, and she says it was a case of mistaken identity.
Mama, calm down! Mama!
And now she's calling for accountability after she says officers threw her on the ground and handcuffed her. This woman tells the News4JAX I-Team that police questioned and released her after realizing they had.
right. So they came in. Her being Eve and proud as hell. She, answers the door as though everything's peaches and cream. When you look out the window or look out the door and you see officers or so-called officers, centurions is what the brothers call them, right? Roman centurions at the front door. It's a death squad at the end of the day, is what you see outside your front door. But her proudness and her ego has her open up the door. She has loved ones inside that house, right? She has kids, children inside the house. They would have to do their due diligence and break in the damn house, you know? Especially once you realize that, man, it's who it is. That's one of my things. No, you don't answer the door, right? You don't just answer the door, especially at night. All right, this world in which we live in is wicked. All right, but there's no wisdom operating inside that house. You see what that house is being ran as, man. Absolutely upside down and backwards. You know, just a cycle of destruction going on in that house. And just some scriptures, Matthew 12 and 29. It says, or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. So it's been countless snares and traps set up so that men will be kept out of these households, and whether it's dealing with the law, dealing with just a vicious cycle. All right, since early times, since birth, since slavery. Okay, they've always kept that man away from the household, and it goes into genocide. Okay, they understand that, man. If you don't have that strong leader, you know that that there's not going to be a leader inside the house. It's just going to be a house full of followers that thinking that they're doing something, but they're not doing anything else. They're not doing nothing at all. Okay, and they're destroying their families. Like it's just a vicious cycle of death and destruction, because they're gonna raise their sons also to be out of the house, you know, in the system. effeminate, you know, cracked out or whatever, man. They're gonna not do a good job at all. It's only through the grace that the men of the Lord that were raised in single parent household that they they come out of that. They made it out of that system, so to speak, with having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But the majority of them, nah, it's part of the cycle of death and destruction, genocide, and making Israel no more. Let's grab that right quick. This is Psalms 83, and I'll jump to 3. It says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." All right, hidden ones are these Israelites out here that scattered to the four corners of this earth. Okay, you know we were scattered due to not keeping the law, statutes, commandments of our heavenly Father. We were scattered because we was a whoring, committing adulteries, idolatry, and all sorts of abominable things, acts we were doing. So we were scattered to these four corners of the earth to really get punishment. All right, to get beat back into submission for the most part, man. Right? And seeing these things playing out inside of our society ought to make you want to cry out to your Lord for deliverance, man. You can't have a regular family here. You can't raise a normal family here, all right, without Esau Edom wanting to put his hands all over your family, man, wanting to molest your whole family. He's going to continue to treat you as though you are not even a second class citizen, but the scum of the earth, when in actuality, he's the scum of the earth, okay? It says, "They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." And this is a big factor, okay? They don't want the name of Israel, you know, he Prince of the power, Yasharallah, to be remembered on the face of the earth, because that name alone represents righteousness. And the people who carry that name are bearers of righteousness when they come back into their true identity, their true ways, and denounce Esau Edom's ways. And these are what the true men of the Lord are going to be doing. Okay, the hidden ones are gonna be training up their sons, their daughters to be righteous. Okay, while everybody is in a state of moral decay, okay, just perishing away, dying on a daily basis, you know, not knowing Yahweh Shai, not having eyes to see and ears to hear, man, you're in a dead like state. You are dry bones over here. That's what scriptures talk about in the book of Revelations. All right. And so you're in a constant state of just death, and by listening to Esau Edom, the Edomite, and he's tricked you. And it's written all within these scriptures. Okay, he's committing genocide on a high level still to this day. How he promotes nothing but homosexuality, hyper aggressiveness, hypersexuality, all throughout this music and inside the so-called black culture. Okay, there's nothing that's thriving in the black culture but death, and, and that's is really is obsolete, because death can't thrive. It's nothing. So it's keeping his name. He's trying, and he has done it over the years of keeping his name hidden out the world. But now the man of the Lord is standing on these highways and byways and being brought back into remembrance. Okay, and these individuals, these women that have not heard or have forsaken their men, or forsaken the ways of the Lord, man, they're being trodden down in these streets. They're being trodden down and stuff, because the Lord has order with all these things, man, and how He needed things to be. These scriptures are about order, but go ahead and continue on in 1 Corinthians 11 and 8. It says, "For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man." Okay, 1 Corinthians 11 and 9 says, "Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man." Okay, so this woman was created for the man. Okay, no other way around it. But in this society, they teach otherwise. They see that the man was created for the woman, and that's how they treat the man. The man is just somebody who does things all the time. But when it's time for him to speak, nah, What he's saying doesn't matter. Okay, he can come around and hang out with the family, but soon as he tries to voice his opinion, it's bad news. Okay, I have relatives, elder relative women that'll tell you that they how low that they really think about men. And as a man, they would tell me this as a young man growing up. How much they think about men, and that's just the snares of the enemy, right? That's the society. Once again, this shows that this is not our risk. It's polluted, man. The ways of this world is completely polluted. Okay, this is First Corinthians 14:40. It says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." These scriptures once again bring forth order, and this word order inside the house of Israel. Okay, without these scriptures, these ordinances that's written inside this book, you're out of order. Okay, and being out of order only equals death and destruction for you. All right, the ways of the Lord are life. Okay, choose the ways of the Lord, you choose life. Choose not the ways of the Lord, you choose in death and destruction, man. You're choosing a hard time. You're not understanding that, man. We are in a spiritual battle, spiritual war right now. All right, it's being waged. So you just going about yourself, doing any and everything, got yourself among all around your enemies, mingled in with your enemies, and man, hey, you get what you deserve. Okay. Now we're talking about order. This is Genesis 3:16. It says, "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception." Okay, "In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." So the Lord has a proper order and the way that a house is supposed to be ran. Okay. And scripture said that the male is going to rule over the woman. All right. The male is the head of that household. Okay. And so this place teaches that, man, the woman has an equal, just as equal as the male. She would get all the subsidies and all this stuff from the government, and then, the government, have her back against the male, even when she's, on drugs, being a whore, and all sorts of shit. And the male is working two full-time jobs trying to make things work. He still is seen as the crook, the bad guy. All right. He's nothing good is seen, the deadbeat, right? And they quick to throw his ass inside of jail behind these things, man. Because when it comes down to it, this world has residual him down to just a paycheck, right? So the Lord has order, and He's dealing with order, but out of order, man, it's punishment, man. It's Amos 7:17. This is gonna be the last, um, but not least, precept. Amos 7:17 says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by the line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land." Okay? And it's what you see in these scriptures playing out on a day to day. These people, Esau, Edomite, and these other heathen nations do not have any remorse for the house of Israel, especially their women. Okay? So it behooves these Israelite women to get in line. The Isaiah 4:1, get in line and get with that man of the Lord. All right, because that man of the Lord is going to be a strong tower in these days that we're quickly approaching. But with that, perfectly, this is edifying to the body. Give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to our elders, apostles, great millstone, and peace and blessings to the Akim pushing this truth. Shalom.